guys, welcome to the Cultural and Nature Tourism Services class number 2. Please remember to put your headphones or earphones on and let's start with the class. Hello again guys. Well, last class we talked about some concepts, basic concepts about what the service is, about the importance of a tourist attraction, about the infrastructure, about the equipment, about the tourism services, and the tourist product. Today I'm going to talk to you about the importance of equipment and infrastructure in the tourism industry, right? Well, imagine that we have tourist attraction. This attraction could be cultural or natural. Imagine this attraction, right? Like this one. Good. Well, it is a natural attraction. It is a lake, right? Well, imagine that this lake is an attraction because it has a value. This value it is natural because it is a beautiful place. And the people want to go to this place, right? But it doesn't have any kind of resources or infrastructure that allow the people to go to this place, right? So we're going to start changing this place. We're going to add some infrastructure. What kind of infrastructure can we add to this place? Maybe a bench, maybe public lights, or maybe some signs to see the people where an area is, right? Or indicating how to find something, okay? Well, this is infrastructure. It's the first step. Now we have an attraction with infrastructure. So, and now it is possible to go to this place, okay? Well, now how can we improve this place? In order to improve it, we are going to add different elements that are part of the equipment. For example, we can include maybe a dock in this lake, like this one. Good. Okay, we have a dock. It is not necessary, but it's going to allow the people to have a different experience because now they can walk, right? Not in the lake, but on the lake, and they can see the water. Maybe they can see the fishes swimming around, right? It is a different experience. It is something that is not necessary, but is going to give something extra to this place. This is equipment. Now imagine that we have this dock. This dock can make possible to include different services. What kind of services? Maybe boats rental, right? Okay, and imagine that every day there are more people that is going to this place, right? We have more visitors. With more visitors, we have more necessities because now the people is spending time in this place, and maybe they want to stay in the place and they want to do different activities and to spend more time in this place, right? This way, we are going to continue adding more infrastructure and more equipment and obviously more services. This way we are changing this place, and in this case it's a natural attraction, right? And we are creating the tourism industry. That's why it's important to understand infrastructure and equipment, because first we have the attraction. Yes, the attraction itself is attractive because of its value. It could be historical value, it could be cultural value, it could be natural value, okay? The attraction has a value, different kind of values, and we can divide or classify this attraction according to the kind of value that they have, right? Then we have the equipment. Sorry, the infrastructure. Infrastructure is what it is necessary, okay, to be in that place. Then we have the equipment, which is not necessary, but it's going to give a different experience. And this is going to allow the people to go, to spend more time, and to increase the services, and this way to change or to make the industry grow up. Is it clear? If you have any question, please write a comment with your question. Remember, if you write a comment, if you leave a comment in the video, it's going to be taken as a participation. So please participate, guys. Well, we have talked about the attractions. Remember that the attractions, tourist attractions, can be natural or cultural, right? And according to the kind of attraction is the kind of activities that we are going to do there, right? Now we have cultural tourism and we have nature tourism. What is this? Cultural tourism is focused on the culture. What is the culture? The culture is everything related with the human being context. I mean, this is about the history, right? About traditions, right? About religion, beliefs, everything that make a person to be how or who this person is. For example, imagine maybe a guy from Asia, a guy of your age from Asia. Do you think that this guy has your same beliefs? This guy have your same traditions? Maybe your same dances or your same food, right? Obviously not. Why not? Because of the culture. The culture is everything that makes us to be what we are. All those differences among the people, even in local people, you are very different. Your beliefs or your religion or what you eat in your houses or your traditions is different from the ones that maybe your classmates have, right? This is a culture. So, talking about the cultural tourism, right, we can mention that traditions, dances, language, art, what kind of art, music, painting, all kind of art. This is the culture, right? So, the cultural tourism are all those activities or tourist activities related to be in contact or to know the culture, like visiting museums, right? Like what's dancing show, right? Or the music, or every culture manifestation, right? Then we have the natural tourism, the nature tourism. What is the nature tourism? Nature tourism is all those activities related with the nature, right? To visit maybe a natural attraction or to do activity in a natural context. The nature tourism can be divided into ecotourism, adventure tourism, and rural tourism. Well, what is the ecotourism? We can think that the ecotourism is just to do tourism in the nature, but it's not something like that. It's not just that, right? It's to spend time in the nature and to enjoy the nature, to be in touch with it, but also is to help the nature, right? If you go to a place, you need to leave this place better than you found it, right? Maybe by, well, obviously not littering, right? Not try to don't pollute the place, but not only don't damage the place, but try to do something good for that place. That is what the ecotourism is about. Is to do nature activities, to do tourism activities in the nature, but in a sustainable way, right? What is sustainability? Sustainability is to use the resources, not only natural, but all the resources, without compromising these resources in the future. I mean, if you use the water, you can use the water that you want, just if you are not damaging the use of this water in the future. I mean, your sons or your grandsons, they will need water, and if you use all the water that exists now, they won't use the water, right? It's not sustainable. Sustainability is the use of a resource, but without compromising its future use. Wow, that is what ecotourism is about. Now, adventure tourism. Adventure tourism is about to do adrenaline activities or adventure activities, but in the nature. What kind of activities? Like kayak, like zip line, for example, like skiing, like swimming, like what else? If you have more ideas, leave a comment. Remember, participation, right? Like horse riding, like hiking, for example. I'm going to include a list, this list, with all with some adventure tourism activities. Okay? In fact, you will have a homework about it, right? So be aware of the classroom platform, right? And finally, we have the rural tourism. What is the rural tourism? People used to think that rural tourism is just to do tourism in rural areas. I mean, in small villages or municipalities. It's not just that, right? Rural tourism is not just to be in touch with the people who live in rural areas or to do activities in rural areas, but it is about to be involved, right, in the people's activities in these areas. For example, if you visit this zone in the north zone of Veracruz, right, you will find maybe orange plantations, banana plantations, and many other agricultural activities, right? Or fishing, even fishing, right? If you visit one of these places, maybe San Rafael or maybe Martinez or maybe Gutierrez Zamora or other small place that have one of these activities, right? To be considered a rural tourism, you need to be in touch with these activities. You need to participate with these activities. Maybe by learning how to cultivate orange tree, right? Or participating in fishing, one of these activities that the people do, like economical activities related with the rural context. I mean, in small places, not in urban context, not in cities, but in very, very small places. This is the rural tourism. Okay. Well, I already explained you what the nature tourism and the cultural tourism is, but let's see the definitions. A tourist attraction is a place of interest where tourists visit, typically for its inherent or exhibited natural or cultural value, historical significance, natural or built beauty, offering leisure, adventure, and amusement. A tourist resource is all the goods and services that through demand, activity, and the means that he has made possible the tourist activity and satisfy the needs of the demand. Cultural tourism. It is the modality of tourism that remarks the cultural aspects that a specified tourist destination offers, no matter if it is a little town, a city, a region, or a country. This type of tourism conducted short stays with a time of destination between 3 or 4 days. It is very flexible since it tends to combine culture with other motivation, which means an easy management of demand. The tourist destination places are mainly the historical ones. A tourist trip can be defined as the one that is motivated by knowing, understanding, and enjoy a set of features and distinctive spiritual and material, intellectual, and affective elements which characterize a society or social group of a specific destination. The cultural heritage. We have tangible and intangible cultural heritage. The tangible cultural heritage refers to the material elements of monumental, artistic, or symbolic value that peoples are developing or building throughout its history and can be observed, palpated, and enjoyed at the present time. This concept encompasses all kinds of objects and immovable property which form part of the heritage of the country. Intangible cultural heritage. It refers to non-material values that are part of the heritage, as the techniques of production and exchange, the chronicles and legends, emblems and historical figures, parades and ceremonies, theatrical and musical performances, among others. In Mexico, we can find some cultural tourism manifestations like archaeology, architecture, handcrafts, museums, gastronomy, traditions, festivities, and dances. Well, now that we know the definitions and that we have talked about nature tourism and cultural tourism, I would like you to I would like to share with you or to talk to you about the importance of our country. As you know, Mexico is one of the most important tourist destinations in the world. But why? Because of its natural value and its cultural value. Let's talk about the natural value. What kind of natural value? Okay, just just see this map. Did you see the map? In the map, it's possible to see deserts, to see beaches, right? To see a gulf, to see forest, right? To see jungles, okay? Mexico, it is important because of its biodiversity. Not only about plants but about animals. It's a place with a lot of flora and fauna, right? About with a lot of life manifestations. Some of them only exist here in Mexico, and it is not possible to see some of these species in other part of the world. That's why this is a very important destination. I'm going to include some pictures right here about some of the most important natural destinations here in Mexico, and they are just some of them, but by watching these images you can have a better idea about why Mexico is so important in natural terms. Mexico is not important just because it's natural resources. Mexico is one of the most richest countries in the planet in terms of culture, right? We have different languages, right? We have ancient civilizations that lived here hundreds and even thousands years ago, like the Mayas, like the Olmecas, like Toltecas, right? Since 3,000 years ago or more to 500 years ago, when the Spaniards come to conquer Mexico, right? So as a result of that, now we have archaeological sites. As I mentioned, we have the languages, we have different kind of traditions, dances, rites, and many, many cultural manifestations. Um, Even, well, after the pre-Columbian or the pre-Hispanic Mexico, after that, we have a lot of history related with cultural manifestations. Our history is very, very rich. Okay, we have a lot of art that started maybe in ancient Mexico. I mean, in the pre-Hispanic Mexico until these days. I don't know if you know, but we have the most important modern museum in the world. That museum is in Mexico City. It is the Sumaya Museum, and we had one of the most beautiful cities in the world. It was considered as the most beautiful city in the world, right? Over Paris in France, Rome in Italy, and other very important cities, and it is San Miguel de Allende. If you don't believe this, look for it and Google it, and you will find the information, right? So, well, I'm going to include some other pictures right here that are going to let you know, okay, to allow you to understand better the importance of the cultural heritage of Mexico. Right. In the next class, we are going to talk more about the cultural heritage. And well, that's it for today, guys. Remember, if you have any question or any comment, just leave it here in the video, and it's going to be taken as a participation. And well, be aware of the Classroom platform, because you will have more homework right there. And I'm going to upload more documents. Please read those documents, because we will have more activities, and you will have you will find, sorry, very, very important information right there. Okay. Well, guys, see you next week. I hope you like this video, and see you around.